දසනකාන්තී චූර්ණය සහිත ලීවර් ආයිෂ් දන්තාලේපය දත්වල ඇති ප්‍රශ්න 10ක් වලකයි.
A seminar on a shared vision for the Indo-Pacific organized by the US Embassy in Colombo and the General Sir John Kottalavel Defence University was held in Colombo this afternoon. During the event, the publication A Shared Vision for the Indo-Pacific, Implications for South Asia was also launched.
Many countries have also their own Indo-Pacific strategies that align with many of our shared values. So to be clear, this is not about choosing countries. It's about choosing values. It's also important to keep in mind that what happens in the Indo-Pacific can impact the entire globe. And this particularly applies to Sri Lanka, which, as we all know, sits next to some of the world's busiest shipping lanes. And that's no small responsibility. Maritime trade in the Indian Ocean carries 2/3 of global oil shipments and 1/3 of global bulk cargo. This builds upon the total of $11 billion we have invested in the Indo-Pacific region since 2018. Notably, here in Sri Lanka, we've announced nearly $270 million in new U.S. support since last June to bolster Sri Lanka's economy and help ensure that children have food at school and that farmers have fertilizer they need for successful crops. We are just about to welcome another shipment of the TSP fertilizer to Sri Lanka in the coming weeks that will be here in time ahead of the Yala season. Good economic governance and good political governance go hand in hand. So let me be clear, the US is Sri Lanka's partner and stands with Sri Lanka as it navigates through this difficult time. As you navigate the process of obtaining support from the IMF, and I hope that we can very quickly see a commitment on specific and credible financing assurances from all major countries invested in Sri Lanka's future to help Sri Lanka get back to the path to economic recovery. I would also note that while Sri Lanka's natural resources and entrepreneurial spirit create enormous economic potential, but to fully realize that potential, it's critical to have a business environment that is transparent and fully inclusive. Because beyond just the immediate economic recovery, the longer-term open investment climate will be key to lasting prosperity. And that's why the U.S. is also committed to support policies that strengthen financial institutions, public finances, and foster sustainable and inclusive economic growth, and help attract more international investment. The U.S. will also serve as the host of APEC later this year with the theme Creating a Resilient and Sustainable Future for All. As we've learned during the past few years, collaboration is key to building resilience. And as we face the global challenge of climate change, we will all need to work on this together. That's why the U.S. is partnering with Sri Lanka in programs that encourage the deployment of renewable energy and increase Sri Lanka's ability to adapt to climate change in ways that contribute to sustained, inclusive, market-based growth. As threats and challenges evolve, our security approach must also evolve. But regardless of what we face, our greatest strength is and will continue to be the alliances and partnerships which support our Indo-Pacific vision. Later this year, we'll be working with Sri Lanka on an environmental security conference where the links between security and climate change will be discussed and how we can work together in this arena more critically. I am confident we will see the emergence of a stronger and more resilient Sri Lanka that is increasingly capable of protecting its sovereignty and developing strong institutions that will enable prosperity for all Sri Lankan people.
Because one of the key themes that the Indo-Pacific strategy talks about right off the bat is the inclusiveness factor of having to work with allies and partners. You see, the Indo-Pacific strategy starts out with a commitment. It says the United States is committed to promoting a free and open, connected, prosperous, resilient and secure Indo-Pacific region.
A publication of this nature simply highlights the Indo-Pacific strategy of the President Biden's from the United States government standpoint. The policy research papers from South Asian scholars are also highlighting the regional perspectives that provides nuance and balanced point of views. The pragmatic challenges and the opportunities presented through this strategy are among the key variables that had been research by the authors.
I think it is our primary responsibility as strategists, as well as international relations and security scholars, to bring this kind of conversations out in the open. We need the academic deliberations, we need the academic research, but in the real world context, we really need publications, thinking, focus on policy matters.